Let me tell you guys something. Okay. If the Philadelphia 76ers do not get to the top of the draft, if they do not land the number 1 overall pick in the draft, let me tell you who they should draft. Is it Dylan Harper? No, it's not. Is it Ace Bailey? Possibly. Is it VJ Edgecombe? No, it's not. You know, I'm not on this another 6. And I like these kids. I like their potential. I like their size. 6'6", 220. 6'6", 220. 6'6", 220 is really good NBA size. But what do you do with Maxie McCain and Quentin Grimes and then draft another point guard, you know? But 6'6", 220 is really good size for an NBA player. And watching the tournament, man, I really like Tyrese Proctor also. But he's not projected to be in the top of the draft. Here's who they should draft. Is it Dylan Harper? That's a tough one. My answer is no. Is it Ace Bailey? That's a tough one. But as far as immediate impact goes, I think a player like Ace Bailey is going to require 3 to 4 years of development to be, you know, that Tracy McGrady level player that I think he can be. It is Khaman Maluach. That's who it is. It is Khaman Maluach, the Duke Blue Devils center. And if you've been watching the tournament, you know exactly why I'm saying this. This dude is 7'2", 250 pounds, and can jump out the gym. And somebody replied to me on Twitter and said, he can't jump out of the gym. And I said, you are right. He cannot literally jump so high that he jumps out of the arena. My bad. 7'2", 250 is from South Sudan. If you remember the South Sudan Olympic team, that was him on that Olympic team at 17 years old, who we'll say upset the USA team in an exhibition game. It was a shocking upset, although the USA team was kind of jogging around in those exhibition games. But he's played at a high level. He took a country that, let's be honest, had no business being there, and had some great games in the Olympics. And if you've been watching him play for the Duke Blue Devils in this tournament, he is an absolute monster under the rim. Size, athleticism, aggression. You know what, man? Smarts, IQ. Like playing defense without fouling is a big thing. You know, it's something that a Dembona doesn't seem like he has, you know, really at this point. This is a player. I think what I'm saying is this is a player who I believe can have an immediate impact for the 76ers as a rookie. I think he's a very complete player. I think he's NBA ready right now. You know, his size, his athleticism, but the way that he plays the game, the way that he plays defense, it's very NBA player-esque right now. I don't see years of development needed for this kid to be an immediate impact player. Remember Derek Lively for the Dallas Mavericks last year? Rookie. I mean, him and Daniel Gafford together took them from a terrible defensive team to a great defensive team and ended up in the NBA Finals. But Derek Lively, rookie, playing serious center minutes for the Dallas Mavericks, helped them get to the NBA Finals. I think Khaman Maluach can be that level of player for the 76ers as a rookie. And I know everybody wants to draft best player available. I don't believe in that. I don't, unless it's Cooper Flagg. Because I'm looking at the roster and I'm saying, who do you put next to Maxie McCain and Grimes? This 76ers team has not been able to defend the rim or rebound for what feels like 40 years. This year has been horrendous as far as interior defense. It's been so bad from the jump. And it's because, number one, Nick Nurse decided without Joel Embiid, I'm going to play 6'8" Gershon Yabusele at center. Why? Because I'm Nick Nurse and I do shit like that. Not that Andre Drummond was a better option. Honestly, I think a Dembona without Joel Embiid should have been the starting center from the beginning of the year. But again, he's raw. He needs development. He fouls too much. He would have fouled out in the first. So am I arguing with myself here? Do I kind of agree with some of you guys that talk about, Nick Nurse was in a tough situation with the roster? Because could you have played a Dembona to start the season? He probably would have fouled out in 10 minutes. So I understand it, but personnel-wise, their other options at center defensively were goddamn atrocious. I mean, some of the worst rim protection you will ever see in your life. Gershon Yabusele and Andre Drummond. And this kid can change that immediately. Also, Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, Quentin Grimes, you need to draft size. You need to draft size. Your next you have the scoring. You have the perimeter scoring for the future. You have the perimeter creation for the future. You have the ball handlers. You have the shooters for the future. And I don't know why people keep talking about Dylan Harper or whoever else. They should draft a more playmaking point guard. Jared McCain is a playmaking point guard. Did you not watch him play basketball this year? I'm not drafting a guard. My focus is size and defense. And if you can get immediate interior defense in the draft, you do it. And this is the guy. Let me know what you think about that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is the 76ers standings right now and what they need to happen. They are 3 games behind the New Orleans Pelicans for the number 4 spot. And the number 4 spot raises your chances of getting the number 1 pick from 10.5% to 12.5%. It raises your chances of getting a top 4 pick from 42% to 48%. That is big time if the 76ers can catch the New Orleans Pelicans. The Sixers are doing a fantastic job of tanking. They're doing an amazing job of tanking. I told you not to fuck with us when it comes to tanking. Look at all these teams. Who has the longest losing streak in the NBA right now? The Philadelphia 76ers with 7. The only closest team is Utah, who just jumped Washington. Anyway, the New Orleans Pelicans, we need them to win 3 games to finish the season. And they face the Charlotte Hornets. They face the LA Clippers. Let's look at the rest of their schedule. Let's decide if the New Orleans Pelicans upcoming games. Let's decide if the New Orleans Pelicans can win 3 games for the rest of the year. Where's the rest of their schedule, bro? Son of a bitch, man. It showed me the rest of their schedule earlier. It's up here. Schedule October 23rd, January 14th. Why is January 14th the last game that it shows? That doesn't make any sense. Well, let's go over to ESPN then and look at their schedule. NBA teams, New Orleans Pelicans schedule. There we go. The New Orleans Pelicans remaining games. We need them to win 3 games here. They play the Charlotte Hornets, the LA Clippers, the LA Lakers, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Miami Heat, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is going to be tough, but let me know in the comments what games you think the New Orleans Pelicans could win. I think they could beat the Hornets, Clippers, or Lakers. The Bucks without Damian Lillard are in a very shitty situation. Maybe they can win one of these against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now it depends if Zion Williamson plays, because they've been randomly playing him at times. It seemed like they're trying to win at certain times. They're not shamelessly tanking like our beloved Philadelphia 76ers. I think they could win one of these Milwaukee games, man. I think they can beat Charlotte. I think they can win one of these Milwaukee games. I think they can beat Brooklyn, who's shamelessly tanking also, although I think they won last night, which helped us out again. Miami's probably a L. OKC's probably a L. I'm going with Charlotte, Milwaukee, Brooklyn. And they finished the season tied with the 76ers in the tankathon.com. And what does that mean? What happens if you're tied? Does anybody know? Let me know in the chat. What happens if you're tied in the tank standings? What happens if the Sixers and the Pelicans end up tied at 23 and 54 or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know the answer to that. Well, we could find out real quick. What happens if team is tied record tankathon? What happens if the Sixers tie the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA draft lottery standings? If you are while the Toronto Raptors will loom, blah, 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 blah. NBA's currently lottery system. Each team is allotted a certain number of ping pong balls. We know that. If there is a tie, who gets more ping pong balls? What takes place is called a random drawing, but would essentially be a coin flip. The winner of the random drawing will pick before the loser if neither team jumps into top 4. Meanwhile, all of the ping pong balls given to the team in the number 5 and 6 spots are split evenly among those two teams, effectively giving the same chance of nabbing a top 4 pick. The winner, if they're tied, there's a random drawing. So there's the answer to that. If you are tied with the New Orleans Pelicans at number 4, there is literally a game of rock, paper, scissors to see who gets the number 4 spot in the lottery and who drops down to number 5. And then the Sixers can still lose the pick by straight up bad luck, which is probably what's going to happen in the grand scheme of things. Let's be serious. It's the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah, man, you guys have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. I'm out of here.